Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue on our journey. Now it looks like a food channel, but we happen to talk about tastes from 酸甜苦辣 for tastes. And then we started with one dish, famous known dish, spicy hot pot, 麻辣烫 from China. And today we're going to continue with another famous Chinese dish, which called, well, I think my translation is better branding, spicy wifey tofu. I mean, doesn't that sound instantly something? Okay. Mapo豆腐almost exactly means that, actually. Ma, we talked about the sense of numbing. So it's one of the types of spicy. It's the numbing kind of spicy. So in this context, we can just call it spicy without, subcategorizing what type of spicy it is, but it's spicy. Okay, 婆 came from this character. That looks pretty complicated, right? We know at the bottom, this is a female figure with a hip, right? That's a female figure depiction. So instead of the stick figure, it's a general human or people person. This is female. And then the top is, well, I guess a sound maker back then, but it could also depict a certain image. This I know is a hand symbol, and this is a person symbol, another person symbol, probably in the kneeling position. And these, I don't know, it looks like a sideways bended torso, something like that. But the origin of this word with female figure at the bottom and some sort of action or sound maker / meaning maker on the top originally means dancing, like a dance pose. So from the image, we can almost see it's pretty complicated, spatially pretty complicated. And it's a motion, right? It's not stable. It's not symmetrical, stable, but it got dynamics in there. So that's dancing. So dance move. And a lot of times, I guess in ancient times, female dancers are the main, dancers mostly made by female back then. And from that, this 婆 character was used as a female domestic, in a household. So in a household, the female roles got two. One is your wifey generation, like your partner, and the other one is your mommy generation. It's your mom, right? So 婆 actually is vague, that it could be your generation woman or the generation before you. So when we say 老婆, old female, actually somehow in Chinese, it means wife, your same generation. And 老 probably have a certain respect of it. Like it's like in Chinese, in English, right? We say old man means husband or your partner. And here, old woman actually means your wife, somebody you hang out with a lot. So to you, it's like a long time, time-honored female in your life. That's 老婆. And if we say, we add one character, 老, the old character, with a 太婆, 太. It's another Chinese character, but with a 老婆, okay, old woman, and the 太. I don't exactly know. Tai probably means grand, actually. That character inserted between 老婆, that actually means 老太婆, means really old woman. That's a senior woman. May not be in your household. It could be a stranger, but it just means a older woman. So 婆 in that sense could be your wife, right? At least that's one interpretation. And who cook for you most of the days? It's your wife, right? So 麻婆, spicy wife. Okay, and the tofu. Tofu is how we, fully pronounced as tofu, but a lot of times, because this is so common in our daily cooking, so we say tofu. the becomes like a very light. We don't fully pronounce it as tofu. And if you say tofu, Chinese will recognize, oh, your Chinese good. If you say tofu, it sounds very bookish, right? So you notice here in English, we translate it as tofu. So fu is the same, but do from D to T. So that's because at the beginning of Chinese going abroad, exporting, start to influencing or get recognized in English-speaking world at the beginning, it's Cantonese language mostly. So Cantonese as the first immigrants from China. So they brought with them their style of Chinese speaking. So probably in Cantonese, it sound more like to, but in contemporary Mandarin Chinese, it's do. And do, okay, look at the cute beans sticking up together. And that's a very visual representation of dough. And that's what it is, it's beans. And okay, tofu was made by beans. I hope you know this fact. It's plant-based. And so it's a type of processed beans, right? And make into this soft, almost like bean jelly, but it's not jelly, but it's kind of shaky like that. So that's tofu. Okay, fu have this, you see, this is our meat symbol, which look like this, kind of like omega sign, right? With two horizontal lines, that's our meat symbol. And the top is the sound maker. The top sound like a fu, and the whole thing sound like fu, no surprisingly. But fu actually in its original meaning means rotten meat, like meat go bad. So that's the original meaning of fu. So something related to bad meat. And we can kind of see, right? So that's the source, the food source of tofu, but it went through a formation, that's a rottening process to make it what it became later. So that's the processing. So this is a source, this is a processing, and this is how this tofu is made, like what it is and how it's made. And together, that's the character we use to describe this type of food, tofu. Okay, tofu. Okay, not tofu, but tofu. Mapo. Sometimes we say mapo tofu, right? Mapo tofu. But fully pronounced as mapo tofu. So I guess in the verbal conversational Chinese, we do have pronunciation conversion as well. So how does it look? Mapo tofu. Official translation. Okay, we all know tofu, right? Mapo. So instead of spicy wifey, which I think is a better translation, somebody used this sound translation, just Mapo. If you say Mapo tofu, yes, you can pronounce it, but you don't know what its meaning. It means spicy wifey. That's a much better branding. Okay, so here I spell out the 7 core traits or foundations, or core characters or personalities of Sichuan cuisine. Sichuan is the spicy food, the best known spicy food from China. And we already have ma la tang in our previous episode, right? This is numbing, this is spicy, and this is hot, like burning hot. Ma la tang, right? Xian, we have a fish in it, we have a lamb in it. So fish, lamb, these means fresh. The food of fish or lamb have to stay fresh, like within a short time of them being killed, you have to eat them fresh. So that's our fish. And then we have female in it, and then we have sound maker in it. Together, it means soft. So picture female, soft skin, that's the kind of soft, 嫩. And xiang means aromatic, smells good. So in Chinese cuisine, we do emphasize the smell of the food. Like that's the first impression. Like before you even see it, before you taste it, it's the smell that attracts you to the dish, right? So 香 is the first sense capturing or the presentation of the dish. So 香 is very important. And the 酥 is kind of a crunchiness, or like, yes, you want it hot, you want it spicy, you want it fresh, but if you have crunchiness, somehow Chinese, sorry, you can probably hear my salvation. Chinese really value this sense of food get crunchy, like your mouth processing the food. That's the last step of food processing, right? So the chef prepared the food to you, everything looks perfect, but how your own mouths are going to experience the last step of food processing. So that gives you the sense, the textural sense of crunchy, the food collapsing, crushed inside your mouth. So that's the ideal. So in preparing the food, that's one of the traits that we want to leave some of that food processing step toward the very end, so that you as a consumer of the food can experience the last step. You can feel your munching down the food. So that's a satisfying factor. So probably chewiness is one way, but this is crunchy. All right, so I cannot talk more, otherwise it becomes a food channel. And I know very little of food, but this is getting better known. So next time you go to a Chinese restaurant, order Mapo豆腐, try it out. Crashing into the currency of thinking by One Word a Day with Sophie. See you another day.